Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the One Step Better Business podcast with Mike and Matt. That's getting like a long thing to say.
Yeah.
I might try to shorten it sometime. Who knows?
OSB.
OS one step. Yeah. Oh, it took me a minute. Maybe I should just keep saying, stick to the script, Mike.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about something that is important in the family business space for sure, but really it's true for all businesses. And that is succession planning. Now, before you check out, I don't want to sell my business. I don't want to get out of business. I could do this for all forever. Yes, we know that. And at some point you are not. So stick with us, tune in, and we're going to talk through some tips, tricks, strategies, things to consider whenever succession planning is on the horizon. So welcome in, Matt. Before we do that, I got a question for you. You were a kid once, way back when in the 1900s. And the question is, what is the most embarrassing fashion trend that you kept up with?
I don't know about kept up with, but I can tell you once I look back and go, what was I thinking? The first one is the bowl haircut, right? That was a big deal in my middle school and early on in my high school. And bowl haircut. So, you basically look like a little mushroom and, a little short around the sides. The other one was like your pants being like pin rolled, where
pinch roll?
Yeah, pinch roll, where you like fold them over and then roll them up.
Yeah.
I did that through like
the tighter, the better.
The freshman year of college.
Oh.
So I'm older than you, Mike. Yeah. It was still popular then.
Yeah.
Parachute pants. I did parachute pants in like fourth and fifth grade. That was a thing. Everybody had parachute pants. Not like the hammer pants, but like almost like break dancing,
they were kind of like the hammer pants.
They were not. I didn't have like the big balloony ones.
You didn't?
No, that was not a thing.
So your parachute wasn't like full
I was going to die.
parachute.
I was going to die.
Yeah,
if I jumped out of an airplane with those pants on, I was going to die.
Yeah.
It had zippers on the side. Yeah, it was fun. You, Mike?
Oh man, we should find a picture of this.
I got other ones. I got a long list. We can keep going if you want.
Right? Yeah, believe it.
Popped collar.
That wasn't.
Oh,
don't be hating on the popped collar now. Come on. We said embarrassing fashion trends. That was cool.
I'd wear middle school. I'd have a polo.
Did you go the polo over the polo?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Polo over the polo. 2 pop collars.
Yeah.
Multicolor. Oh
yeah. And there was always contrasting colors.
Best dressed 8th grade.
Strong work.
Strong
work. My favorite that I look back on is like, holy smokes, how did my mom let me out of the house? Is you said bowl cut. Yeah. I had the butt cut.
Butt cut? Oh, the
part straight down the middle, going to each side.
Yeah, I had that too, but it was kind of it really wasn't. Everybody had that. It was like early 80s for me.
Yeah, mine was later than that.
If it was like 95, yes, it was way past prime, Mike.
Yeah, it was that was my high school picture.
Oh,
that was 2000.
I have a flat top with bangs.
A flat top with, I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah, it's not a thing. You should not have that haircut.
Wow. I remember one time my mom cut my hair, and the next day I had to miss school in order to go get my hair.
Get a buzz cut. Mike has a buzz cut.
That's my favorite story too.
Yes.
I still crack on my mom.
Yeah, I went to a new school and went to get a haircut, and I wanted a flat top. The lady, and I said, I kind of want a little longer on top, just a little bit longer. And she interpreted that as bangs.
Yeah.
So she left my bangs with a flat top. Welcome to new school. It was great. It was great. I was like,
you recovered well.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was like, can I wear a hat?
Oh man.
No, it was bad.
Golly.
Mason Senior pictures when he's about to have a mohawk down the middle, but a reverse one. We're going to buzz the middle.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Yeah, I think he should.
Bad idea. Hair was a big deal for me.
Hair was a big deal. I never had long hair. I say that my freshman year in college, I went to a private school, so I could never have long hair. But my freshman year in college, wild times, I had hair down to my ears.
I took Wayne into school, and I looked over, and he's in 8th grade, and he looked like he just rolled out of bed. And it's like, man, when I was in 8th grade, there's no chance I would ever go to school without brushing my hair. And that man does it every single day. And it's like, I don't know how to relate to this.
My senior does that every day.
Yeah, it's like the cool thing. In 30 years, somebody's going to ask them the question, what's the embarrassing thing you did? And they're going to be like, I never brushed my hair as a kid.
As for 4 years in high school, I haven't brushed my hair.
And he probably never brushes his teeth.
He brushes his teeth sometimes if we remind him.
All right, let's jump in. How to hand off your business without losing it. It's a sad story. everybody that starts a small business oftentimes thinks that they're going to just kind of carry it on forever, as long as the business is actually doing
Mm-hmm.
well. They don't really think through what's the next chapter, what's happening, and we've had some good experiences and some not so good experiences with clients that have gotten to the point where either they were done or it's time to retire and move on, and look around. It's like, oh snap, this is the first time I ever thought about it. I've never considered it, and that's that could be a sad experience sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever you think about that next step, it's whatever it looks like. When is the right time to start thinking about that?
I, I actually, when I think about succession planning, I actually think about it, it changing the owner's role. So when I think about this, we've had a number of clients that, they come to the point where they're thinking about selling their business. And I go, I don't know if your business is worth anything. You have created yourself a job. So whoever buys this from you is buying a job that doesn't have a lot of value. And so I always want to think through this in terms of how would this business operate if I wasn't here? That's when your business starts to become valuable, because now that's somebody that is actually an asset somebody would be willing to pay for. We've had, and you'll get some value for almost every business because there may be some inventory or some accounts, or you have some hard assets
Some
there
book value.
book value, but the intrinsic value, the true value of what that business is really worth, is going to need to be not reliant upon the owner in order for it to have the most value. And so when I think about this, the book that I think about instantly is Built to Sell. And it's, how do I put this business in a place where I have repeatable systems that can operate when I'm not here? The E-Myth, same kind of logic there too. I want to work on the business, not in it. And now your business is starting to drive value. Well, if that's the case, this is way before you're thinking about selling that business, right? This is you setting your systems and processes and your whole business set up so that you own a business. You're not an operator in that business. And that is, you want to do that as fast as you possibly can, with the mind that I want to have the end in mind of, I want to have an asset that I can eventually sell. I also want, if I wanted to, I can have the potential for me to hold this for a long time, because I don't have to necessarily be in that business every single day. And so when I start thinking this through, like when I start the process of trying to talk to, like, we had a dentist client we've worked with a long time, and I'm like, okay, I can see our dental practices are very hard to sell. You can bring partners in, and eventually the partner's going to want to buy you out, because if you're not seeing patients anymore, then
What's your value?
What's your value? We have a pool client of ours right now, and he does pool construction, and he has a lot of one-off projects, and he has service work. Well, the service work has some value because he's not involved in that, but the pool construction part of the business, I don't know what is in that for him right now. It's yes, every year he has 10 to 12 new pools he builds, but that's a website, and some experience. Somebody might buy his name, but I want to start setting the systems up. I want to start setting the systems up so that he can truly have a business that is positioned to sell. And so we have talked through, okay, well, what goes into selling a pool? Like, what are you doing to market that, your pool building? Are you, when a new sales opportunity comes in, are you the one going there, or does it make sense for you to maybe train somebody else to do that job? And so we've started laying that groundwork for, what does it look like if you didn't own this business? And let's say he says he's about 60 years old. I said, hey, how much longer do you want to do this? He says, I don't know. I'd love to sell it now. I was like, well, probably not that sellable now, but in 5 years from now, we could probably have it ready to go if we get the things aligned. You'll get a lot more value for that thing. So
Yeah. I think it's interesting. There's a correlation here between, if I operate my business and run my business with the end in mind, then it actually becomes a little bit more enjoyable to run the business.
correct.
Right. That's, we always want to start with the end in mind. Ultimately, there is going to be an end.
Mm-hmm.
That end, maybe I'm getting carried out of here in a box, or some,
Get hit by
hopefully
a car,
not.
I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, right?
Yeah. And the more we could set up systems and create a way for this thing to run without my input, that is better.
Mhm.
And that does oftentimes lead to a better quality of life in the interim. But there is still the component of, there's going to be a finish line.
Mhm.
You have, and we've talked about this a lot internally. You got 3 kids,
Mhm.
and oftentimes a family business in that first generation, everything goes well, but there comes a time in which that first generation is turning into second generation, and that can create some challenges. So how do you think about that from a, yeah, the business is operating without you, and also I'm not going to be here forever.
Oh yeah. This has happened. I mean, this is no different. I have 3 kids. Um, they're not at the age yet where they'd be ready, or do I even know if they want to take over this business one day. I also, the business size that we are today, I'm not sure they would have the skills to do that for quite some time. So we've had to start thinking through the logic of, okay, what would it look like to have, if something happened to me tomorrow, and where does this thing go? Like, well, how does that work? And so we have had to have some very strategic thoughts internally as a leadership team. With my, we have some business continuity work that we've done with some other firms to say if something happened to us and something happened to them. And those are thoughts I have to have right now. Like, there's no doubt about it. I'm in my early 50s. It's something that, I could have a heart attack tomorrow. You never know, I could get hit by a bus. And so we have to have those contingency plans in place for if and when those days would happen. The challenge, I think, a lot of times with family businesses, though, is sometimes, like, my parents went through this when they took over the business from my grandfather. They had a nursery business, and my grandfather loved the nursery business. He loved it. It was in his being. He loved everything about it. He loved growing that business. And then him and my dad and his 2 brothers took it over, and none of them loved it. It was what they thought they had to do. And so the business kind of operated kind of okay, but none of them had a passion for it. It was always what else we could be doing besides this.
Yeah.
And I know this, I love this business, but if my kids don't love this business, then they're not going to be as successful as they can be. And you have to have that passion. And so I think having very frank conversations with them, going, look, you're going to be financially taken care of either way, but maybe this is not the right thing for you. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. I just have to have a different plan.
Yeah. And you connected, you mentioned, I love this business. But it's not necessarily the accounting firm piece of
No,
this business that you love.
no.
There's
The
a more
people,
aspirational piece of that.
yeah, I mean, the accounting work is the accounting work. That's fine. But I really like the building of something, and the ability that this is a never ending puzzle that can always be worked and improved upon. And I enjoy the people I work with, and the people that we're developing, and the stories that they have, and the growth that I've seen in all of the people that we have here. That's what I love. And that could be another business, but if they don't love those things and they don't feel connected to it in that way, then it's not going to be that. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah. It's tough though, because at some point you have to really think through what is that next step. And if my goal, if my lifelong goal is I would love to work in this business with my kids, and then they decide this ain't for them, that there's a kind of an emptiness that comes with that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of my friends that are in my accounting association that are struggling with the same thing. So different. I mean, they were like, well, I have a group of employees that I know might be able to sell it to, but am I going to get the most value for that by selling it to them? Or could I go to a third party, to a private equity firm? But I do have my son who's 21 or 24 or
Maybe
25.
one day.
Maybe he might want it. So I don't want to get rid of it now. And that's a constant struggle. Like, timing matters. And so, like, I think about my friend who has a firm like this, and it's like, I want to see if he really loves it. If he loves it, I want to have him have an opportunity to do it.
Yep.
And I want some of my employees maybe want to partner with him, and I'm fine with that too. But I don't know yet.
Yep.
But I don't want to wait and then I lose this asset. Like, so if something happens to me tomorrow, what happens then? So he's kind of always in this wishy-washy world. And I can understand that where he's at, so we've talked about, like, we've done this a little bit internally, and we've done this with other clients of ours. Is got to start with, okay, what do you think it's worth today, and what is it really worth to the market? So we've done some exploration with other people to find out what we're really worth. So kind of having a benchmark of going, I thought it was worth this, and they thought it was worth Y. I have a gap, and it's not what I think it is.
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about in our journey, what we try to help our clients understand, is that by getting a formal valuation of your organization, it gives you a scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of owners, as they think through succession and next steps, it's something, oh, I'll worry about that down the road. I'll worry about that down the road. And I'm not saying that you have to have a formal plan of succession that's, thought out
Mm-hmm.
30 years in advance. That's crazy talk. But you do need to think through the lens of, at some point, something could happen tomorrow or it could happen in 30 years and I'm not going to be here. And I think one of the best ways to put that goal line in front of you is every year, every couple years, get a formal valuation done of your business to see, am I improving? Am I, what's the market look like right now? Is now the right time? And it's all about just getting information to make the best decision for you today.
For sure. I mean, I think about this in my own lens, which is, okay, if I think my business, I'm just going to throw out some money. My business is worth, let's say it's worth $5 million, whatever that number is, $5 million. But I thought it was worth $20 million. And I'm planning on that being my retirement, or I'm planning on, passing this on to my kids. That's a big gap,
That's
right?
a big gap.
That's a big, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But
that happens.
Oh, for sure.
It happens all the time.
My client who thought, hey, I'm ready to sell my business. I'm going, I don't think your business is worth anything. So he thought it was worth $1 million. I think it's worth zero. Well, you don't have a retirement. You thought you did.
Yeah.
And so now we had to have conversation. What would have to be in place to make that business worth $1 million?
Or at least I'm not selling it to Matt Patrick.
You're not selling to me. I'm buying it for zero. I'm not paying you a penny for that business. And so having those conversations and, like, hey man, I'm being honest with you. I think your hard assets are worth $250,000, a bunch of used trucks and some old equipment, and great, but I'm not paying you $1 million for one-off customers. There's no value to me on that.
There's always hope.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna go sell this for $1 million. I can retire tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you can't.
We look at our business through a little bit of rose-colored glasses.
Very much so.
You're like, well, I know the ins and outs and I know the potential, and a buyer isn't paying money based on potential. They're going to look at where you at right now.
Yeah. And the client, I think about this one, he makes a couple $100,000 a year. He's like, yeah, but the cash flow, and it's like, yeah, but I'm not buying your cash flow for one-off deals when I could go pay nothing and get that same cash flow.
Yeah. I can go start that from what are you actually giving me?
Correct. And so, we've had a lot of those conversations. I think, talking about family again, the family business part of this is you have to have very frank conversations with your leadership team, anybody else involved in the business, your children. If you're thinking about handing this off to a kid or to, a brother, selling it to your brother or whatever that may be. Hey, we're going to have some, is this what you really want? Because if you don't really want it, I need to know that now. And if you're not sure yet, that's okay to say, but we're going to plan with a lot of contingencies in mind.
Yeah.
But I do have to know kind of what I think I'm worth. And so, we recommend for a lot of reasons. We do profit first here in the firm, and, there's a balance always between how much money you're pulling out in the business profitability every year and what that business asset is worth. And you're balancing those two things. Well, one of the things we want to do is try to improve profitability. Well, improve profitability generally will mean your business is going to be worth more. So it's, hey, the profitability improvements we make drive value. And there's also systems and processes we put in place, which will drive value. And then what's the owner's role, which will drive value. And so when we start analyzing what a business's worth, we're looking at all those factors into that to say, hey, look, you don't have systems and processes in place that somebody could come up and pick up and repeat.
Yep.
So we need to get that in place.
Yeah. So, kind of looking over the little sheet that our team gives us when we start this is succession planning for family business is where to start. And I think that's exactly where you start. If you've never done a formal valuation of your business, that's where you need to start. Yep. That's going to give you clear, objective idea. Today, I could, in theory, sell this for X dollars. And that will at least give you some hard information to know, all right, I'm maybe in better shape than I thought I was, or, oh my goodness, I am very misaligned in what my expectations were. And then from there we can start to make some actions. But I don't think it's ever too early.
Right.
Ever too early to start thinking through what's that next step.
I'm being honest, as part of our normal process, is something we're going to do for you. I mean, we're going to give you a valuation as part of getting you through the journey. We want to know what that's worth. And we're also going to talk through the questions, the levers that you're pulling to drive value in that business. So how much of your customers are wrapped around, how much your revenue is made up of your top 2 or 5 clients? Well, if you have all your money tied into one customer and you lose it, you lost the business your value. How much is the owner involved day to day?
How much is the owner really responsible for the revenue of those clients as well?
Yeah, like that dentist client. Like, if you're doing all the teeth work every day, you're probably not going to be worth much
Yeah.
when you die.
As an investor, if I buy you out, I'm gonna have to replace you because I can't do that work.
Correct.
That's a different value than if I'm just a dentist. Yeah, a lot of things, a lot of good things to consider there. I think this is a really a topic that's not talked about enough because wrapped into this, and what I hope everybody's hearing wrapped into this is that succession or next, what's next on your really journey or retirement, whatever you want to call the finish line for a business owner, is also tied heavily into how am I going to actually run and operate the business that I have? Because if I can figure that stuff out, I'm going to have a lot more fun and I'm probably not going to feel the need to step out. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed that conversation. We drop new episodes like this every single week. And so if we got you thinking, make sure you click that subscribe button so that you never miss out. And we'll catch you next time on the One Step Better Business Podcast.